Hey guys, so never a dull moment, right? Like, you're gonna have to watch straight through the end because this has so many twists and turns to it that just. There was one main theory on this one, but then there's a secondary one that splits off. It could be either. I'm leaning more towards the one than the other, but I can't ignore the second one either because there's so many details that just line up a little too well. So, alright. Strap in, it's gonna be a minute. So, fine. We still have viewers for our internet, for our TVs, for our phones, etc., etc. Every so often, our TVs fuck up enough, we have to call them, have a technician come out, swap out our equipment, and we're good to go. It's never a big deal. We have been members of them for over a decade at this point. We've been at&t members even longer than that. My dad's had an account with them for over 40 fucking years. So, we know them. We trust them. They are not the problem here. However, before the technician could get to the house yesterday, another guy showed up in what looked to be just a normal plain vehicle with like an at&t magnet on the butt end of the car, and I even commented before he came in the house that doesn't seem right. Something seems weird with him. I've never seen that before, ever. They always have the vans or the trucks. So that already had my spidey senses tingling right there that something's up. And we're explaining the TV issue to him that had been happening, whatever. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, there's a technician coming for that, but hey, can I upsell you on switching over your cell phone service to us? And I'm like, oh my god, I have been batting them down with a stick for years on this, because, like, we liked Verizon. We liked them a lot, actually, and I feel like we've made a mistake in even switching anything for so many reasons, but he wouldn't take no for an answer, and he kept trying to finagle this shit, and I kept trying to insist that I would like time to research my options more fully, and he was not accepting that answer and insisting, oh, well, this deal only lasts for today while I'm here. After I leave, you can't get it. And I'm like, that's never been a thing with any other tech I have ever dealt with from them. So, okay, fine, whatever. I'm talking to him. I'm looking to my dad. I'm like, I don't know. Do we do it? I mean, he's, like, making a compelling argument for how much cheaper it would be even with, like, really high up there service levels. Like, it would still be cheaper than what we're paying. Do we do it? He's like, your call. And he's busy off dealing with the TV guy who had shown up during this. So it's like, great. I was supposed to be dealing with the TV guy, not whoever the fuck this is. So I'm dealing with him. He eventually manages to worm his way into talking me into it. Fine, whatever. So we sit there and we port all the cell phones over to that, and I knew it seemed weird. Everything about this seemed weird, to the point where when he asked for, I just need anybody that's over 18's ID card and a social security number, I was like, I am not giving you my dad's. It's not happening. I'll give you mine. That may have sealed my fate, but whatever, I did. So, handed them that. Whatever. They start porting the phones. Knew it seemed weird that both my parents' phones got physical SIM cards. He gives me an eSIM, and I'm like, is there anything that's going to be a problem with, that there's no physical card in there? And he's like, no, not at all. And I'm like thinking, bullshit, you son of a bitch. Meanwhile, my dad keeps coming over and throwing out details that I'm like, why are you telling these to a stranger? Talking about his cars, wanting to show off his cars. I'm just like, why would you put a target on our heads like this, Dad? Why would you do that? And he's like, oh, she has famous friends. He's rattling off all these names. Half of them, I'm like, I don't even know that, but what the fuck are you doing? Stop. Like, literally stop talking. Holy shit. Like, what are you doing? This guy's soaking it up like a sponge, and I'm just like, dear God, what the fuck? Whatever, I'm just trying to stay on task. Get the cell phones working, prove that they're working. I don't care. I just want him to fucking leave so I can focus on the other guy who ended up leaving first and I never got to talk to. And I'm like, great. So fine, whatever. Begrudgingly switch the phones over. I'm thinking this is it. Clearly, yeah, okay, so there's always that, like, day or two you have to wait for, like, two-factor authentication codes to be able to come through and things like bank codes to come through, whatever. But I'm like, the later it got that night, the more things I started having come into my head that I started Googling, right? If it's going to be an issue for it. And I am having all these concerns, just like a laundry list of them. And I'm like, oh fuck. Well, this guy did give me like a phone number to contact him at if I had any concerns or questions. Yeah, he never replied, by the way. Shocker. But, ooh, something blew in my eye. But anyway. Ooh, cool. That's why I don't like going outside without shades on. But anyway, fine, whatever. He never responds. So I'm just going down the rabbit hole of trying to Google it the best I can. I'm trying to contact at&t. I'm trying to contact the banks. I'm trying to contact all kinds of people, trying to see, is this going to be an issue? Blah, 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 blah. I'm getting mixed answers from all over the board. And I'm not having a great feeling of confidence about it. So I'm up until like 3-something in the morning just stressing non-fucking stop about the fact that I don't have a physical card in my phone. I just have an eSIM. I'm like, do we have to go to the at&t store in the morning? I don't fucking know. I mean, it's going to restart the cycle over that much more and possibly complicate it more. Maybe I should just wait. Fine, I'll wait. Meanwhile, sometime that morning, I get a phone call from this really sus-looking phone number that is definitely not from my bank, not from any number I've ever seen them use. I'm trying to be vague, so I'm not giving over too much info, but anyway, I didn't recognize it, but I picked it up, and the only reason I fell for this at all is because it landed in that first 24 hours after the fact of switching things over that I was scared of. What if this is an issue if they're trying to contact me through other means and they can't, so this is the only thing they've got? Only reason I thought maybe there was some chance in hell that this might be legit, because normally I would never have fallen for this in a million fucking years. And, like, I would have hung up and called back my bank and asked specifically, hey, is this a thing? Did you contact me? Is this legitimate? Would have been the correct answer. Is that what I did? No. They claimed to be the fraud department, which ironically was the exact thing I was concerned about, being able to contact me if there was a problem in that like 24 to 48 hour span of switching over our shit. It was not in... Spoiler, it wasn't them. It wasn't them. But they made me believe it was them. They faked me out well enough to believe it was them because they had enough info of mine that they were confirming that I was like, oh, this sounds legit. And they were able to spoof confirmation codes coming through that looked like they were from my bank to where I thought, oh shit, this must be legit. I am handing them my info on a silver fucking platter because I thought this shit was real. I'm still trying not to cry because I'm so mad at myself for, I of all people know better than anybody against this shit. And yet I still fucking fell for it because of the timing of when it hit. If this had been any other day in history, never would have fallen for it. It was only because it was that specific day. Which then leads me to think, was this the guy that I thought was sus who came here? I don't know, and there's no way of knowing for sure, but fine. So I unfortunately handed them all my shit, and they're claiming, oh, there's all these fraudulent charges that look like they're coming from somebody in Pakistan and sending money to Dubai. And I'm like, that's not me. They swindled me out of about $500. That's going to be important later. So, because again, I have a secondary theory that I don't put as much stock in as the first, but there's details on that theory that also make me think I shouldn't ignore it as a possibility either, though. So fine. They're telling me all this, and I'm scared shitless, even though I'm like looking in my online bank. I'm like, I don't see anything like that. Normally, if there's anything pending, I can see it on my end, right? And normally, I would be getting fraud alerts if this were a thing, right? Yet I'm giving them this fucking info, thinking I'm resecuring my account. Nope, I'm basically just handing them the keys to the fucking kingdom because I'm an idiot. Will never happen again. You can never scam me the same way twice because now I know the game. But it's like, god damn it, what a way to learn it. I did get scammed one other time about 10 years ago. Those of you who've been here long term probably remember that, and I lost about $2,600 that day. So, I mean, at least this wasn't those kind of numbers. Thank God for that, because that was fucked, and I never got all of that back, and I'm still mad about it to this day. But anyway, so I'm handing this info on a silver fucking platter, right? And it wasn't until they started asking about other cards I might have associated with this phone number that all of a sudden I'm like, red flags are flashing in my head like a neon sign. I'm like, I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up right the fuck now, and I am calling them manually myself to check on this. Meanwhile, as I'm doing that, I log out and I log back in. Oh, magically now there's 3 charges to fucking Dubai that were not there before. I gave them info. They had told me they were sending dummy alerts to my phone just to check that, those codes work and everything on my new phone, which is why I question the guy who came here as possibly being involved in this, because no one else would have known about that. I hadn't mentioned it to anyone outside this house that we had changed phones or anything. So it's like, awfully curious, right? But regardless, those dummy codes apparently were proving I'm a dummy, that I fell for it. And I approved them when they came in. Isn't that cute? Yeah, fuck scammers, right? So I didn't even call my bank immediately. I got in the car with my dad and I went to my local branch. And they're like, that's not a number who've ever been associated with us. You need to change your password. You need to change your login. You need to change everything. Do you want to close the entire account and start a new one? I was like, let me just see if anything else weird happens after resecuring this one, because I have so many things tied to it. I'd really rather just keep this one, if at all humanly possible, first, before defaulting to that. And they're like, okay, we're not responsible if anything else happens. Fine. Great. Don't care. I will take that risk because I'm the one who fucked up on this. But changed everything. It's fine. Nothing else appeared to come through on it. Got a new card on the spot. Got new everything. But they told me, okay, so wait until tomorrow and either call us back or come back in branch and we'll file a dispute on those specific charges and try to get that back for you and investigate it further, blah, 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 blah. Didn't like that answer because when this happened about 10 years ago, I was able to dispute it on the spot. Then again, 10 years ago when this happened, I was not as on top of things as I am now because of that. To have noticed it the day it happened, it took a few days for me to notice that they had basically drained a whole checking account of mine that day. Thankfully, this one didn't get that far, but because I, thank God, figured out the game, I was like, wait. Before I even got in the car, I'd already changed the password and was already, knocking out, the unrecognized device. I was like, oh, an iPhone. I don't use iPhones. So, what the fuck is that? Out you go. But, so I went there. I went through the whole rigmarole with them. They were very nice. They were very courteous. They always are. Fine. I come home. And I'm hoping that's going to be it, right? And then I have a second thought come into my head. I'm like, there is somebody from a certain channel who hates my existence so much, who I suspect is natively from Pakistan, ironically enough. And I'm like, and on that channel, there was literally a bounty placed on my head within the past week that if he forks over $500 a month, she'll get rid of me and give me a cut of the money if that should happen. Interesting that it happened to be $500-something that were taken from me from that particular country. I'm like, this is a new low. If this happens to be that, I can't prove it is. I can't prove it isn't. The other theory seems more likely to me than this one, but I also can't ignore this possibility either. So it's like, holy shit, you're trying to pay the bounty on my head with my own fucking money? Wow, that's a new goddamn low. Holy shit. I mean, if that is in fact what happened. I cannot prove that at this point in time. But fine. It's something that I felt is very necessary to point out. Granted, they never said specifically Pakistan. They use the code term of Kerblapistan, which happens to rhyme with it, and makes me believe they are at least a possible suspect in this, Even though they claim not to live there anymore. We can't prove that one way or the other, can we? But, VPNs exist. They certainly do. So it's like, it wouldn't take much to hide where they actually are and make it look like it's coming from there. But I'm trying to not be paranoid. I'm trying to not overthink it, but I also cannot ignore that possibility. And in case they thought they got away with this, it's why I'm mentioning it here that I'm onto your ass. If this was you, I'm onto you. There will be vengeance, by the way, if it turns out to have been you. But I'm thinking it's more likely the first guy, in all reality. But there is this little niggling thought in the back of my head thinking, well, less likely, but given the timing, given the amount, given the location, I'm like, how interesting. How interesting, right? When all of their other attempts at trying to sabotage me lately have failed, that this just happens to happen within the same week. But then again, the other thing happened within the same 24 hours. I'm like, I have a foot in both worlds. Either are a possibility. I'm still suspecting the first guy more so than the other guy, but I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. I'm just pissed that I fell for that. Because normally I would know better. Like I said, if it had been any other timing in history, never would have fallen for that. And now I have the actual number from the actual bank's fraud service. So I know if it's actually real, it is now in my contacts and starred. I have just like the normal number from the bank, local branch and just corporate, have those saved. It'll be very obvious to me going forward what is real versus what is not. This will never happen again. But I'm like, Jesus Christ, people suck. They fucking suck. Holy crap, whichever one did it, I don't even care. They fucking suck. Real nice, dude. Right at the end of the month, right before all my subscriptions that are paid for from that particular account all hit. I'm like, great, fuck my life, dude, great. And I'm like, you would think that'd be the end of it, but it's not! It's not! So this morning, I tried to go log into the email and, the other two phones on this plan show up instead of mine for being able to even log into it. And I'm like, how did they fuck this up so bad? Holy shit. So I spent like 2 hours on the phone with that company trying to sort that shit out and also telling them the weirdness that went down and my bank fraud. And there's a very real possibility one of your guys is scamming people. Please look into him for the love of God. Not the older guy who was here working on the TVs. I know his name. I'm not going to give it here, but it's like, not him. Check the other guy, though. Because he did have a name that also sounded like it was, like, aligned with that part of the world. I'm just saying. Because he did give me a number to text if anything came up, remember? With his name and then at&t. So I would know what it's from. He never replied to me once in all of the times I tried to text him, by the way. So that also leans me more towards that side, thinking, it's that guy. But I'm just like, holy shit. So I went through like 2 hours of just fucking mind-numbing shit, trying to sort that out. You would think that would be the end of it. No, that would be too easy. So no sooner am I done with that, and I'm like, you know what? I know it's only like 11 a.m. I need a fucking drink after all that so I don't cry. Even though I'm trying to lay off of that lately, but you know what? Drastic times call for drastic measures. I don't fucking care. So fine, have a drink. I've taken about 2 sips of it. And I get a call from my actual bank, and I'm like, oh, what fresh hell now? And they're telling me about, oh yeah, the suspicious activity. No shit, Sherlock. I literally was there the day before reporting all of this. I've already done everything on my end I need to do. Why are you a day behind on this? But to be fair, they did try to call me before the scammer did for what looked like suspicious info, so I think they probably did catch it before anything happened, but I missed the call when it came in. I think that was also part of why I fell for it when the scammer called me. But they're telling me this, and oh, we've put in a freeze on your account to where money can come in, but you can't spend any from it. And I'm like, given I have a new card, I need you to undo that right the fuck now. I need to be able to access my cash, please and thank you. Okay, well, we're not responsible if anything else happens. That's fine. I don't care. Unfreeze it. And then there was like another thing with it too, where it's just like, wow, that is a loud vehicle. I can't even tell where that's coming from. Anyway, so they had frozen that, and they're telling me how you need to get a new account. I'm like, no. I talked to the people at the branch yesterday. They gave me an option. I said, for right now, I just want to take a cautious watch and see approach, just to see what happens. If anything else happens, yeah, we'll close that down in a heartbeat and start a new one. But nothing else has. I believe it's resecured. I believe it was just the card mostly is what was compromised more so than anything. So fine, whatever. So we get through that. And then he's giving me all these scare tactic things about all these other things about like the cards froze and the accounts froze and this. I'm like, no, unfreeze my shit. Holy fuck. Like, please and thank you. So had to sit there for him to undo those and for them to reestablish alerts and make sure they actually work, which they do, and just like, okay, fine. And I'm like, can I at least dispute the charges now? They're like, oh, no, actually, they're still pending, so on the off chance that they kick back, you don't need to do anything further, but if they go through, then call back tomorrow and dispute them. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. It took every ounce of willpower not to blow up on this gentleman. I wanted to really badly, but I didn't. I held it together. Just barely, but I did. Fine. I will give it one more day. I'm not happy about it. Even though the people at the bank told me yesterday either call them or just come back to the branch tomorrow, which would be like today now. I'm very tempted to just go down there and be like, fuck it, I'm filling it out now. I don't care. Just sort it out. As is, it's going to be like 45 to 75 days before I possibly see anything back anyway. So I'm like, great, fucking great. I hate everything right now, so... You would think that would be it, but it's still not. So after I'm off the phone from that, and I am again just like, I am so ready to just tap out on today, take a sleeping pill, and just go to bed and sleep off the rest of the day. Fuck today. Today is canceled. I get an email saying my Zelle account has been deactivated because I changed phone providers, and I need to reactivate it. I'm going to lose it, so fine, I'll go through all of that, and maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. Just, Jesus Christ. And then the one for my dad, and the one for my mom. Those emails coming. I have to, like, go through the shit for both of theirs, too, even though they're separate accounts, but because we all changed our phones, now I'm the one who handles that crap. I'm like, I hate everything. I fucking hate everything right now. Holy shit. Like, this has not been a good 24 hours for me. It's not been a good 48 hours even. We just wanted the fucking TVs to work. That was all we wanted. That should not have been a big ask. And after all that, and after all of their insisting that, oh, but at&t phone service is just as good as Verizon as your area. No, it's not. They have fucking lied. Every call I've tried to make has been patchy and spotty at best, which was the whole reason I have resisted it all of these years to begin with. But no, my fucking dad's like, my brother has AT&T, he uses his phone all the time at our house. It's fine. I'm like, yeah, because he logged into our Wi-Fi and he uses the Wi-Fi calling when he's here. And now that we switched our shit over and he tried using it, like, oh, shit, I see your point now. This shit sucks. I'm like, it's almost like I tried to tell you. Holy God. Trying not to fucking lose it, but it is not easy. And I'm like, I have other shit I should be doing that I need to be attending to, but I can't because I am tied up with this crap. And because I thought of the second possibility that could potentially be a player in this, aside from just the first one, I feel like a paranoid. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be. But on the other hand, it's like, in trying to figure this shit out, you can't overlook anything, you know? So even though, yeah, I know I'm coming off paranoid, I can't ignore it. Even though it is probably more likely the first dude, but I'm not going to ignore the possibility of it also maybe being the other. Not gonna ignore that. I'm sure they'll deny everything, but I don't really care. Because it is going to be looked into, and it is going to come back on someone. So if it is the second person, they're in for a nasty awakening, I'm pretty sure, even though they're in a different country from me. So I don't know. I'm not a happy girl today, though. I will tell you that much. Not a happy girl today. I think I am not irrational for feeling like that. I don't know if anybody has any kind of pointers of other shit that I should be doing at this point to remedy things, but I'm just so at a loss right now. I don't even know what to think or feel right now. But it is interesting, though. Just the timing of all of it. I'm like, in either direction, the timing cannot be ignored. So it's like, wow, I am so guarded. I mean, I use VPNs. I use all the antivirus things, anti-malware, I have like so many different layers of protection on all of my devices. The fact that I fucked up and I gave over the info firsthand by phone. Like I said, if this had been any other day in history, I never would have fallen for that. I even knew in the moment it didn't sound right, and I wanted them to prove that it was from them by sending any kind of push notification, and apparently that was when they made like a scammy purchase and was like, no, that's a dummy alert, just hit yes to that to prove that, you know, you're there and you're you, and we'll resecure everything, and we'll sign you up for LifeLock. And I'm thinking, I don't want you to sign me up for anything, I just want my shit to be secured. Shouldn't be a big ask. Although I might sign up for it of my own volition after all this, because I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. How's been your day? Hopefully better than mine, because mine has sucked balls.